All right. So, what do you guys think about who should pay for the first couple of dates? This is such a huge, heated question. And honestly, it is crazy how many times, if you don't pick the right answer, it could make or break your chances for a future date. So, I am Jacqueline, professional matchmaker with Discover Love Matches. And I have to say, this is a tough subject. It's actually probably one of the top tricky, how do you answer, what's the best way kind of subjects. It's interesting because in the 8.5 years I've been a matchmaker, it has changed a lot, and just in dating in general and all the things that we do and we expect upon our partner is fascinating. It really is. And thinking about who should plan the date, how soon should we see our person right after we've met them, and what kind of communication we're looking for. And so I recently did a survey, and what's really interesting is that only women answered this question of who should pay. I didn't have a single male response, which I usually have some wonderful men responding to my surveys. And what I was intrigued by is the expectation. More women expected the man to pay or to split the check, but it was a higher rate of them paying over splitting. And I think what's interesting that we fall into this place of we're all looking for all this equality, yet we still want to be courted. And there's ways to court where it's not breaking the bank. And as the professional matchmaker, listening from the gentleman's perspective, it's expensive to just date a bunch of people, and it's expensive to set up all these dates and do all this extra when you don't know if it's going anywhere, if the other person's really reciprocating. And so there is a fine line of how much do we invest back? How do we give? I mean, the truth of the matter is, ladies, we can go Dutch. If we want to go and split a meal, we're going to go do that with our girlfriends. But there's ways to do it when dating. I personally highly recommend, which none of the ladies selected, was that, the gentleman might pay the first place and then the lady pays the next place, meaning maybe you go and get drinks at one place and then you go get happy hour at the next, or you get a dessert at the next place, or go get coffee at the next place. It's nice to change up scenery when you're on a date. It's a lot of fun to do that. And it allows for some energy shifting, environmental shifting, and it makes it really positive. And it's a nice way that when somebody goes and pays for the tab, you can be able to respond back, well, great, I'll take the next tab. I'll treat next time. And so there is a sense of reciprocation. Instead of saying, oh, to the waiter, split it down the middle, and he had 3 drinks and you had 1, that can be frustrating too. And so it's one of those things where we have to really decide how much expectation we put on another person on how much they're going to spend, and realize how money isn't always in dollars and cents. Money is also in time and energy and resources. Of course, the lady probably went and did a little extra to her hair, or maybe got a new outfit. So we do spend money, but it's not necessarily being spent directly on you or the evening out. And so when I asked, what are the favorite date locations, happy hour, definitely one. Then people after that enjoyed the idea of just getting drinks, having lunch. Dinner was a little further down the list, which I was surprised. But I also think that sometimes we can get too caught up in a dinner. I mean, dinners can be long, they can be ongoing. And once you have appetizers, a dinner, and dessert, you might be at that place for 2.5 hours, and maybe you didn't really click with them. This is why I highly recommend happy hour. I don't like coffee places that are loud and buzzing, and energy is just people popping and popping out. The idea is to get people moving through. But if you can find a quaint little coffee boutique with some maybe comfy couches, it's a little quieter, maybe it has like a little patio if the weather's nice, then that can add for a really nice atmosphere and keep it at a lower budget. I feel like a lot of people, and I hear this from many ladies, I love you guys dearly, but it's that kind of feeling of, I think if he's not interested enough if he's not willing to spend enough. But we have to remember that we live in expensive times. We have other expenses. We have other things. So it's not that the person is denying buying your meal. It's that maybe it's just a little bit beyond their budget right now, especially if you are finding yourself ordering less. And I honestly, if I feel like the gentleman wants to pay, I'll buy a lot less expensive meal than maybe I might have wanted. Now, if I was going in with the mentality of, hey, we're just going to have separate tickets, then I'm going to order whatever I freaking want and I can be more authentic. So there is an advantage to that. And really, there's nothing free. So nobody really wants to get a free meal just to get a free meal, even though I hear from many gentlemen, not from my ladies, but gentlemen say that when they meet ladies outside of my agency, there are many that are just looking for a free meal and they just take off and don't really go into it with a, hey, I just want to get to know you. I don't really care what we do. I just care to get to know you. So I want you to really think about what is your objective when you're going into dating. I remember years ago, I had a really, 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 really sweet guy asking me out, and we went out, but he always wanted to do happy hour. And back then, I had the mentality that happy hour was for cheap. It was for people to not spend much money. And I honestly feel that was a huge part of why we didn't keep dating, is that I kept thinking, well, he's always going to be cheap. He don't always wants the littlest. When actually, he's an amazing man. We've actually continued friends, and he's very generous, but he was smart. It's expensive to take somebody out multiple times to a full-on meal, and so I am a huge advocate of happy hour, and I realized I was being a bit of my own snottiness and being very presumptuous and not really thinking where the gentleman was coming from. I was just thinking, oh, well, I want to marry a generous man and be with somebody who's very generous. Well, that doesn't mean he won't still be generous. It just means he's being practical and smart, which is obviously a great quality. And I've been thinking about how, I've read this recently, and I have to admit, I've been totally guilty of it too. And I've heard many women do it, and I know many men know what women are doing. But I have a question. How many times have you gotten up and gone to the bathroom right before you think the check's coming to see if the other person's going to take care of it or not? I've totally done it. I totally have. And it's been awkward and weird, and I'm not sure what I was supposed to do. Thank God I'm a professional. Now I know better. But before I did know this information, I totally was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I don't really know how we want to end this. I don't want this to be something awkward. But you know what, ladies? The guys know exactly what you're doing. The men have told me. They go, oh, yeah, she always seems to get up and go to the bathroom right when the check's coming. And then she seems to be offended if I haven't already paid for it. So we have to really understand, what are we projecting? What is it that we're asking? What, for him to save us, or our bladder can't control getting a check? Like, let's look at this. Offer to pay, and then it's up to him. Now, granted, I know it's a little confusing for you men that you step back and you're going, okay, so if I say, yes, you can contribute, is she now going to think that she's somebody I don't want to go out with again, that I'm not interested? Or is it something where women's lib, I need to let her contribute? Or what is it? I believe in your heart of hearts, what do you want? Regardless of all the crazy mixed signals we love to give, what do you want to do? I have offered to pay many a meals, and I have had many of wonderful dates that have been like, absolutely not. I've had gentlemen say, your money's no good here. I asked you out. This is what I want to be able to do for you. This is important. That's when it feels so genuine. But if I was in the bathroom and they're sitting there looking at the ticket, wondering what it is that I'm expecting, then I'm playing a game. So I want you ladies to go in with the objective that it's okay if you pay or you contribute. It's not just about splitting down the middle, but pay your ticket. And then if they want to pay, receive graciously, only if you feel like you're going to want to go out with them again. And I think this is also really important. Don't take advantage of the generosity, because you know what? The next lady isn't going to get the generosity because they're going to feel like they got taken advantage of because you didn't follow through. So we have to think about the ripple effect. And I remember I had a client for years ago, I had a client. She didn't last long because she got snagged up pretty fast. But her thing was, she goes, I absolutely refuse to let the gentleman pay in the beginning because I want to know I'm getting to know him for who he is and not whether he paid or not. And she was very clear she didn't want to feel any obligation at the end of the date for anything extra or any additional. expectations because he paid. And so she had a very firm mind in it. And then once she found her person, they just worked together and they both contributed, and it was a partnership. So the question really is, you teach people how to treat you. So what do you want to be treated like? Yes, I know everyone wishes that they would have someone come in and take care of them. And honestly, I hear it equally from men and women. Many a man would love to have a sugar mama, and many a ladies would love to have a sugar daddy. But the reality is, are you looking for someone in partnership? Do you need someone to save you? If you do, then be honest, because then that person needs to know what their new responsibility is. If you are looking for somebody who is more of an equal, where you guys just take turns, then let them know that from the beginning. If you are looking for someone that you can court and nurture and do that, then if they want to pay, then next time, find something you can do. Maybe you get them a CD, maybe you find them a little gift or goodie, or maybe you come up with a place or location, or you buy tickets to a play or a movie, and then they can buy that popcorn and the treats. There's ways to do this without feeling like you're just going Dutch or you're overanalyzing the money thing. And I am totally guilty. I've had times that I really just was less interested when someone seemed like a tightwad. So there's a way to do it that is still attractive and stimulating. But I also think that women, we need to step up and offer and not put that much pressure on the man and look at it. Like, there was a time, oh gosh, probably 28 years ago that I remember going on a date with a guy that I could just tell. I mean, he was so tight. We went out a few times because he was just a really, really nice guy, but everything was conservative. I mean, even his car had no bells and whistles. Like, his home had no bells and whistles. He was vanilla, which I never really liked to date, but I do like people. And I remember how micromanaging he was with how he spent the money, but everything was split. But there was no romance. There was no connection on a relationship level. There was a friend level, which was very nice. But when you go in and you treat it like you're just going out with one of your buddies, you're going to get that result. You're going to get a, hey, I'm hanging with my buddies result. So you can't complain if the other person isn't reciprocating or feeling more love mojo. But we have to realize some people are just super tight with their money, which can also be a good thing. I mean, sometimes we can do a little better if we've got a partner that balances out financially. And then also we have to remember where they're coming from. If they're trying to date a few people at a time, trying to narrow it down, it's expensive. But even dating one person, I've had lots of male clients say, I can't afford to date right now because that's too expensive for me to take a variety of ladies out as I try to find my person. And I'm thinking, how many ladies say that? How many ladies say, I can't date right now, I can't afford to pay for me to go out and date, when they're kind of thinking they're going to get a free dinner and they're objective. Most men don't go into a date thinking they're getting a free dinner. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of times when people go on a date, they buy more than they should if they don't think they're paying, which really sounds wrong. But I want you to really think about the money part is real. The money part is causing a lot of confusion, a lot of misguidance. But I have heard from my gentleman clients that they go, I appreciate when she offers. Doesn't mean that they always accept, but I appreciate when she offers to pay and is ready, hands me cash or hands me her card. Or maybe it was a dinner that was, say, $50 for the two of you. And then there's tip and extra, and you hand, he takes only the 20 instead of saying it's 25 plus tip. Maybe he doesn't take the whole half of it from you, but he says, thank you for, contributing. That was great. Or a matter of saying, hey, you get it the next time. There's something about behaving like a team from the get-go. I guess that's where I'm trying to come from, is that I feel like we're putting too much pressure. I'm totally guilty of it. I have, oh my goodness, done it so many times. I slowly pulled out my card. I've gone to the bathroom. I've looked at the table and gone, man, that card's been sitting there for a while, like the tray that has the ticket on it. And that guy is not going to even try to pay. Like, he's not even thinking about it. And I've watched to see how long a ticket can sit there and the gentleman won't even make a move on it at all until the waiter's like, did you want to pay? They're asking. So take away that awkwardness. Take that out of the equation and offer to pay and allow the other person to decline or accept, and then really step back and go, am I going to gauge the potential of this relationship on whether they let me pay or not? We have to remember where they're coming from. There are so many people that have taken advantage of getting a free meal, or they've been too much into the I want to be catered and all of these goody things. Well, the truth is, until somebody knows you enough, they don't know you're worth it. So if you kind of balance it out a little bit in the first few days and then they become totally smitten, chances are they're going to be like, can I take you out for a really nice dinner or dancing or whatever it is? And they're going to, as a gift of gesture, want to do more. So this is a hot topic, and I'm finding myself changing it. Like I'm just so, I read for the male and the female, and I'm thinking, I think we're missing out on some really great dating opportunities because we're too focused on who pays. I've been guilty of this too. So I want you to step back and really think about, how do you want to go into this? And really, are you looking for a genuine partnership, or are you looking for somebody just to take care of you? I think that we set up this standard that, oh, for the first few days, he can pay. But then after that, I will start to contribute. Well, if you don't teach him that, and you're not showing that part of you, then he's not going to know that quality in you, because you're not showing that in the beginning. You're coming across as if you're expecting him to pay for everything from the beginning. So make some comments, make some noise, add a like, share this with your single friends. Let me know what you're thinking. Men, speak up, let us know. Ladies, what do you think about changing up your expectation of him paying or not paying? And just be clear. Don't go to a fancy restaurant. You don't want to spend all that money if you don't know if you're going to like the person. That's why happy hour is so cool. I love happy hour. Get a cup of coffee somewhere in a quiet place. Go get dessert. Go do something that's relaxing and fun. Like my hairstylist was saying how his favorite date is a breakfast date. It's not about a sleepover date. He just loves to be able to meet somebody, get up in the morning, meet somebody for breakfast. And then if it's magic, they can just keep on enjoying their time. And I thought, wow, I never really think of a first date for a breakfast date is a good idea, but I've been hearing from more people that they love it. So I want to know from you, what are you doing to even this out a little bit, keep your options open, and not put the pressure? And tell me, have you ever gone to the bathroom hoping the other person will take care of the tab? You're busted, because the truth is there's so many of us doing it, and the guys are catching on. So it's really not that sneaky. And the waiters are too. I've heard the waiters say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how many women get up and leave right about the time I'm bringing the ticket, or they even see me come in and they go, they book on out of here to the bathroom and come back and go, oh, what can I do to pay? Oh, it's already taken care of. Oh, that was so nice of you. Like, we're all doing this little game. Let's just own up. Let's step forward. Let's choose it. Let's say, hey, can I contribute? Here's the money. Here's my card. What can I do? And just let it be what it is, and not ruin a chance for a love connection. I'm excited to find out what you say, what you do. So be sure to subscribe, add your comments below, and like, and let me know what else you want me to talk about, because we're going to keep this conversation going. This is a hot topic. Looking forward to talking to you next time. I am Jacqueline, professional matchmaker at discoverlovematches.com. Jump on and see what we've got going on.